What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we got some great news, as it seems like this Saturday, May 1st, marks the date that we'll get an announcement for undefeated, unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be top 3, top 2 pound for pound fighters in the world in Errol the True Spence Jr. as he's looking to take on in a unification bout now WBA super champion welterweight Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas. That is going to be an announcement that is going to come this Saturday night as we have Andy Ruiz Jr., former unified Mexican heavyweight world champion, historic. He's the first heavyweight Mexican superstar boxer in the sport of boxing to become a world champion as he takes on Mexican superstar title contender Chris ARREOLA. Okay, that's going to be a pay-per-view event that's going to take place this upcoming Saturday night. And according to reports and sources, during that fight, you will get the announcement for Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas are going to finally get a date for that fight. We know that Showtime, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions founder and advisor Al Heyman, they have announced their lineup for Showtime. And we know Errol Spence, he took to social media. He says that Fox PBC, they need to hurry up and announce their lineup and his fight ASAP. Well, it looks like this Saturday night marks the date where you're going to get the announcement for this fight. Now, obviously, the fight that everybody wants to see is undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight, undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, was widely considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. That's the super fight in the sport of boxing. But first things first, Errol Spence said that he's collecting the belts and he's excited to go into a showdown with Yordenis Ugas in his next fight. He wants to get that belt. He let Terence Crawford know. We'll see who's holding up the Terence Crawford Errol Spence super fight once I get this belt from Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas, 26 wins, 4 losses, 12 wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age. He stands at 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was September 6th of 2020 when he took on Abel Ramos. He got a split decision victory, but that wasn't his best performance in that showdown, okay? He could have done better. It looked like he was on the verge of being stopped in that fight at one point in time, okay? This is a huge opportunity for Yordenis Ugas, okay, against Errol Spence, because 3 belts are going to be on the line: the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. Errol Spence Jr., 27 wins, no losses, 21 wins by way of knockout. He stands at 5'9.5". He's 31 years of age with a 72-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was December 5th when he defeated former 2-division world champion superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia by unanimous decision. Okay, so everybody's eager, everybody's antsy to see when Errol Spence fight is going to be announced. Everybody wants to see what's going to happen next. We know 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter, he stated he will be back in the ring July. So there's also other fights that are possibly going to be announced. There's a possible lineup for Fox PBC that will be, revealed this Saturday night. Everybody wants to know what's the next plans for undefeated or for former unified WBC, WBA welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman, not undefeated. He lost to 8-division legendary iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao in his last fight. So with that said, Keith Thurman, his fight should be scheduled and announced as well. We could possibly, Shawn Porter, like I stated, said he'll be back in July. So it's possible Shawn Porter's with Fox as well. Keith Thurman's with Fox and Errol Spence is with Fox. So it's a strong possibility that we could get an announcement for all parties involved for their next upcoming fights, okay? This is very, very important because, we want to see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Now, Terence Crawford, he seemed to be on the verge of fighting Manny Pacquiao as well, but that has fell through now. And now we know his promoter, legendary promoter, top ranked CEO, Bob Arum, has stated that he don't believe Terence Crawford won't grace the squared circle until about September. So he's going to be out the ring for quite some time. What's interesting is that Terence Crawford, he's scheduled to be a free agent come October. And everybody wants to see, is he going to re-sign with Top Rank? Is he going to sign with PBC? Is he going to get himself or get the fans one step closer for us seeing Errol Spence and Terence Crawford if he stays a free agent? Or is he going to re-sign with Top Rank? We have yet to see. We have to see how that unfolds and how that plays out, okay? I'm highly expecting Errol Spence to be victorious in this fight simply because of styles, okay? I believe that Yordenis Ugas' style is that eerie similar of that of Danny Garcia without the power. He's void the power that Danny Garcia has, okay? Danny Garcia has more power in both hands than Yordenis Ugas has. In one hand, Danny Garcia has more power of both hands for Yordenis Ugas, okay? He's just not a big power puncher. He has very, very flat feet. You know, he is technical. He's skilled. You know, he looks the part. He's a very big guy, but he doesn't have punching power, okay? And so with that stated, I'm expecting Errol Spence to be victorious in this fight against Yordenis Ugas, okay? And Errol Spence, as he stated, once I pick up this strap from Yordenis Ugas, then we'll see who's holding up the Terence Crawford fight. Now, you can expect after the fight for Errol Spence to be bombarded with all types of questions regarding Terence Crawford. Should he beat Yordenis Ugas? Everybody's going to be calling for that fight. Errol Spence already let it be known and clarified he has no interest in facing Keith Thurman. Now, it's a possibility that maybe Sean Porter, who was number one in the WBC ranking system, maybe he put himself back into a highly anticipated rematch with Errol Spence Jr. That was a fight of the year type of fight. So it's a strong possibility that we could get that fight. But the fight the fans are going to call for, and Errol Spence already stated that he's going to want and look for, is him versus Terence Bud Crawford, okay? It's interesting to see what Keith Thurman's next move is going to be, okay? It's going to be interesting to see who Sean Porter fights in his next fight. Danny Swift Garcia, who also fights on Fox portion of the PBC, he stated that he's looking to move up to junior middleweight, super welterweight at 154-pound division. So are we going to get an announcement for Danny Swift Garcia as well as he makes his way to a completely new division? Is that on the horizon? Okay. The anticipation of Showtime PBC, they announced their lineup over 2 weeks ago now, and everybody is anticipating and getting antsy and waiting to see when and where is the Errol Spence Yordenis Ugas fight is going to be announced, okay? So now it looks like, my peopleizations, it looks like we are set to get an announcement this Saturday night as Andy Ruiz Jr. makes his ring return. What's important as well, interesting to see if we possibly have Deontay Wilder, former Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC heavyweight world champion, American superstar boxer. Is he going to be on this card talking about what's next for him? Okay, we know that, again, Bob Arum, he stated that the fight between Anthony Joshua and his fighter, undefeated two-time heavyweight world champions, British superstar boxer Tyson Fury, has fell through, and he's expecting for Tyson Fury to face, Deontay Wilder in his next fight. So maybe he'll be part of this broadcast. But people, it seems like hopefully the anticipation is up this Saturday night, and hopefully we get the announcement that Errol Spence Jr. will be making his ring return against Yordenis Ugas this summer. Now, the date, obviously, it was talked about. It was reported that it could possibly be July 3rd, but that date is now taken. As we know, Christopher Colbert will be taking on Yuriorkis Gamboa that date. And also we have another big fight in middle of July, July 17th, as Jamel Lions Only Charlo, unified junior middleweight world champion, two-time junior middleweight world champion. He'll be going in his undisputed showdown with Brian Castano. That's July 17th. So what date is Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas going to be on? Are they going to wait till the weekend following? Because we know it can't take place in June because there's too many big pay-per-views in June. So when is this fight going to take place for Errol Spence Jr.? Is it going to be, the end of July, first weekend in August, right? We know that, July 3rd, maybe it could be July 31st. Give you 2 weeks, and then it airs July 31st. But I'm thinking it's going to be July 7th. July 7th. You know why? I mean, August 7th. You know why I feel like it's going to be August 7th? Because August 7th would allow Showtime. Now, you know, PBC is PBC. So August 7th, if the fight took place, it would allow Showtime to re-air the pay-per-view event. You know, they always re-air the pay-per-view event the next weekend. Well, we know August 14th, they have a fight with Guillermo Rigondeaux. He'll be fighting August 14th. So maybe they re-air it August 14th, okay? Because if it take place July 31st, you know, the re-airing of it, because it's going to be pay-per-view, the re-airing would be August 7th, and there's no big fights August 7th. You understand? So I believe it may be August 7th, and they'll re-air it August 14th, as they usually have the re-airing before the scheduled event, just to draw attention and attraction to the fight that's scheduled to take place. But that's Fox Showtime, Fox PBC, and Showtime PBC, two different networks. So we got to see how that plays out and unfolds. But make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Ebony Bridges, Blonde Bomber, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.